Hello, my name is Adriane Berg, and I'm just delighted to be here to open up new doors for you in a new area of practice. It's called the longevity practice. Longevity as a concept focuses on our growing expectation of a longer life. It affords us unprecedented practice-building opportunities. Now look at this figure. What do you see? You probably see an apple, but that's not exactly correct. It's really a series of dots and letters that make up a whole picture. It's only because you already have an idea about what an apple looks like that you do see this whole picture. I'm about to connect the dots for you and show you the complete picture of longevity, how to reach that sought-after baby boom and senior market. This market is not defined by age. Take a look at the pie chart. It's defined by the client's life stage and most notably their health status, their longevity expectations, their hopes for the future. So let's connect the dots. Now, there's a fundamental difference between retirement and longevity planning, and it's all about your client's goals and their concerns. Now, you're all familiar with retirement planning. It looks at wealth accumulation while you're working. The goal, freedom from employment. It's all about avoiding what we don't want, which is lifelong toil. But longevity planning, on the other hand, looks to what we do want, to fulfillment, to creative leisure. The watchwords are financial security and personal independence and lifelong relevance, a tough thing in a society that marginalizes older people. And even that tax and legal documents are different because they are all to ensure freedom of choice. We shift from knowledge about income tax deferment to knowledge about capital gains and transfer tax reduction. Longevity planning is very exciting. It's not about senior planning alone. It includes everyone. It's a 5-generation practice. Now take a moment. Note the groups that you see on the screen here. See if your thinking changes as to which group you're most comfortable with as we talk further about longevity. Longevity planning is exploding, and let me show you why. The fastest growing segment of our population are those of the age of 100, our centenarians. Of every person who's ever lived past the age of 65, from the beginning of recorded history, 2/3 are on this planet right now. Of course, they're all in Phoenix, but we'll let that pass. The life expectancy in 1900 was 47 years of age. Today's Gen Xers, when they reach the age of 65, approximately 1 in 3, 1/3 of our population, will be over the age of 65. If you think that longevity planning is only in the mind of boomers, think again. This is a 5-generation practice. The way we think about our financial goals is changing because of longevity. Retirement is only a step along the way. Even young people are beginning to think past retirement. Look at the hard facts in this graph. Take a look at that last column. These are today's teenagers. 85 million over the age of 65 by 2050. To tap this stream of clients, you need to think about the basics of your practice, your own personal and professional skills. Risk management and inflation protection, legal understanding of surrogate designations. These are not new to you. Estate, gift, and liquidation techniques. You're on top of those. Now, of course, Medicare, Medicaid, state programs, that may be new. But eliciting the core values and dreams for the future of your clients, that is something that you do all the time. And facilitating intergenerational communication, that's where you can really shine. If you're strong in these skills, you're ready to open the door to a lot of increased business. Longevity financial planning is challenging for both the client and the advisor. Like the old nursery rhyme, when it is good, it can be very, very good. And when it is bad, it is horrid. Which one it will be for your client depends on their health and their money. They are inextricably intertwined. Your help and advice, that could make the difference. Let's explore the 7 challenges of longevity. Your ability to help your client meet these 7 challenges makes all the difference to their lives and to your success. Sure, money is what it takes to meet the #1 goal of longevity, lifelong independence and freedom of choice. That's the core mission of the financial longevity practice. But although money is at the center, the other challenges are your entry points to success. For each of these entry points, let's explore their trends, their challenges, and your place in this dot-connected picture. Your longevity clients are looking toward personal fulfillment in their post-retirement years. Their access to fulfillment are in these areas: family, leisure, community, philanthropy. But an AARP study of boomers reaching age 60 revealed that 19% report that money stands in the way of their fulfillment. Money was the single largest barrier, even above health. Here is where you connect the dots of fulfillment and financial planning to open up opportunities to help your clients. You can become a fulfillment facilitator. Have your data sheets capture information on fulfillment goals, not just their assets or their income. Bring in a life coach at a client appreciation seminar. Bring in a speaker or send client information on travel and volunteerism. Help boomers prepare to be grandparents. Review their beneficiary designations. That's very important as we grow older. 35% of affluent grandparents spend $50,000 or more on their grandchildren's education. You can provide college planning. Education-oriented clients also want education for themselves. But when it comes to longevity, this is called lifelong learning. Be ready with local lifelong learning resources to meet that need. Boomers and many seniors see themselves as young. They don't want to be patronized. But many still need special consideration. The environment of your office should be a model for positive image. You can be part of the solution. Transform your office with a longevity office audit, addressing all 10 of these tips and ideas. For now, let's just concentrate on numbers 8 and 10. Cognitive research on aging makes it clear that many seniors respond best to storytelling. As financial professionals, we are used to explaining complex investment ideas using scenarios. Keep it up. Many seniors do not respond well to an analytic approach. And as you know, in July of 2006, the SEC and NASD had their first senior summit. They discussed ethics and best practices. If a senior makes a financial choice, it's your responsibility to determine that they did understand it. How would you do it? Well, the very best way is to ask them to repeat what you said in their own words. Senior understanding and communication is at the core of the longevity practice. Health, of course, is a central challenge of longevity. It took until 1987 for the Journal of Science to say that aging is not a disease, but it does bring costly infirmities and new ways of allocating private and public resources. Benefit planners now look at health span, or daily, DALY, disability adjusted life year. They're designing benefits and setting costs based on healthy versus ailing days. Prevention must be part of your client's longevity budget. This includes dentistry, pets, massage, exercise, and nutrition. That's what gives us healthier days. When it comes to cost, the emphasis has shifted from acute care to chronic care, and the cost is largely on the family. Take a look at this graph. The blue on this graph are Medicare payments. The green is out-of-pocket. And now look at long-term institution care. Also look at dental. There is almost no Medicare in either of these cases, and in both cases, most of the payment is out-of-pocket. Your help is obviously needed. Medical ethics is a growing challenge of longevity. Life is for sale, and so is quality of life. Government payments for health care and health prevention is rationed today. Longevity planning includes planning for assistive technologies like portable oxygen and scooters, designer drugs to ward off side effects, DNA tests that reveal propensities to illnesses so that people can prevent them, and one day perhaps even access to the Methuselah gene, which can now be created in the lab. But who are going to get these bonanzas as this rationing gets ever and ever greater as there are more and more people who are seeking health help? Your help can level the playing field for your clients. Think of the advantage to you if your clients consistently receive these benefits. Your clients will be more likely to have access to these benefits if you offer a health coverage audit to them. Do they have the disability, health, and long-term care coverage they need? Do their parents? Do their dependents? Remember, this is a 5-generation practice. Can they build their home with assistive technologies like bathroom sensors and wheel-in showers? Are their benefits portable if they intend to move or even move abroad? This is not being sick and old. It's not about that. It's not about any particular product. It's about giving your client access to independence and freedom. And even if you don't provide these products, it's about networking with people that do. Independence and choice drives longevity, and housing is no different. Boomers and healthy seniors are self-navigators, rejecting age-based housing in favor of NORCs, naturally occurring retirement communities with special services like home repairs and easy access to food. New builds and renovations sport universal design, single-level homes, easy bathing access. Post-retirees may live on college campuses in boats or travel perpetually. Treatment in place is another core value of longevity housing. Living in the least restricted environment, preferably at home with the help of assisted technologies like mobility devices, safety sensors, home health aids, even if we become ill, even if we have a chronic care need. If we need assisted living or continuing care facilities, we want to be able to afford those. Now, Medicaid has limited coverage past the nursing home, and Medicare affords no coverage at all. And here's the real challenge. Americans are living in their bank. With so much wealth tied up in home equity, many of us may be forced to choose between the housing we want and the cash flow we need for everything else. A down housing market can have a devastating effect. Home equity maximization techniques are part of almost everyone's longevity plan. Here are a few that are springing up. There's the reverse mortgage. A non-recourse lump sum periodic or line of credit loan can be paid back to the lender only after moving and very frequently upon the death of the property owner. Meanwhile, they can use that money during their lifetime for the life they want to lead. Or there are sale leasebacks, selling the home to a family member or a stranger with the right to continue to occupy the premises during their lifetime. Then there's tax management. Many upscale homes actually exceed the tax exclusion once sold. Now, the home can be transferred to a trust and an annuity created after the sale to defer some of the capital gains. And then there are mortgage takebacks. Many people are selling their homes. They are moving. They are downscaling. And they're financing the purchase of the home to create a 30-year stream of income for themselves secured by their original primary residence. To prevent this type of Medicaid recovery, a client will often have placed their home in a life estate. When you do your data gathering, you may see that that's the case. You will be seeing it more and more. A life estate transfers the home to another person, preserving your right to live in it indefinitely. Usually the senior transfers it to their adult child. Upon death, the transferee gets a step-up in basis, and there is no Medicaid recovery. But the discounted value of the house when transferred is counted in determining Medicaid eligibility in the first place. So far this is working, but even this tax-saving device may be gone with the 2010 sunset provision. Longevity planning includes traditional retirement planning and making the most of your IRAs and your 401ks during the extra years clients intend to work. But it also includes coping with frozen pensions, as companies freeze defined benefits at current levels, even if the employee keeps working. Boomers are seeking end-run jobs with better benefits, and very frequently their biggest challenge is finding a job. Become familiar with the types of pensions that hedge the cost of benefits. Some of these you may already know, but others may not be so familiar. For example, the cash balance plan is a breed of qualified benefit plan which differs in one important respect from the traditional defined benefit plan. Under the latter, pension benefits are determined by years of service, plus a formula. Under the cash benefit plan, pension benefits are determined by an amount in the worker's benefit account, to which they often have to contribute. Under a pension equity plan, a worker can elect either a lump sum contribution or an annuity based on that lump sum. This permits the choice of a lump sum with many years to grow for younger workers, or a lifetime annuity for workers closer to retirement. Finally, a defined retirement option plan, or a DROP, allows participants to accumulate extra pension credits in the form of added interest after maxing out under a defined benefit formula. DROPs provide a lump sum payment at retirement or a lifetime monthly income. 95% of baby boomers are afraid of running out of money before they die. We often see a significant drop in lifestyle spending at around 86, as well as curtailing necessary medication and discretionary gifts. This is called the longevity gap. The longevity planner concentrates on providing lifelong income in a world where less than a quarter of us have pensions. More Americans believe in extraterrestrial aliens than that they will actually receive Social Security. Even with Social Security and a pension, inflation creates a longevity gap. The client health coverage audit we spoke about earlier can reveal some soft spots in your client's plans. Look at this. Housing costs for seniors increase at a rate that is about 40% higher than for the general public. And medical costs for seniors increased at over twice the rate for the general public. Inflation figures in general mean nothing. It's the actual costs to seniors in their real life that'll make the difference. We have a little device for you when you make presentations of products and services that you suggest to fill the longevity gap. We call it Play Money. And let me show you how it works. P stands for passive. It means that your money works for you, you don't work for it. L stands for lifelong. Whatever suggestions you're going to make will last all their life, to 102 and maybe more. Always in their control. Anything that you suggest should be enforceable, whether it's part of a power of attorney or other documents we're going to be speaking about soon. And it must yield enough. What is enough? Well, that's up to them. But it's up to you to help them figure that out. Clients tend to fall into a combination of these three categories: the investor, the planner, the provider. Each feature of Play Money resonates with one or more of these core goals. By understanding your client, you can easily see what to emphasize about your recommendations, and with many seniors, tell a story of how it works in their life. For example, investor types look for passive, easy-to-manage solutions. Planners want the solutions to be lifelong and predictable. Providers want products and techniques that are in their control. Each feature of Play Money satisfies one or more of these core values. Those are the 7 challenges of longevity, and any of these challenges can be your entry point to a longevity practice. However, your greatest access is through meeting the desire of your client for lifelong independence. Longevity has increased the importance of legal documents that address lifelong independence. We don't mean for you to practice law, but here are some insights into some of the more powerful documents. The 3 essential documents are the Durable Power of Attorney, the Longevity Trust, which includes Special Needs Trusts, Self-Settled Trusts, and Healthcare Directives, which are really a variety of different types of healthcare wishes. The Power of Attorney is the central document of longevity planning. It designates a surrogate to expend our money to allow us to age in place, be treated in place, to apply for government aid. To serve our purpose, the power must be durable. That means it must remain in effect even if we lack capacity. Many people don't realize that an ordinary power is invalidated by incapacity, just the opposite of what we really want to happen. Ordinary powers also take place immediately, where we may only want to transfer our power when we become incompetent. So the springing power of attorney has become popular. It requires that at least 1 or 2 treating physicians document our incompetence, but only then is it effective. Only then it springs to life. Now, a separate gifting power of attorney is useful for government benefit planning. since the main attorney, in fact, is usually the recipient of gifts or of transfers, and being both the transferor and the recipient can be bad tax planning. Now, here's a practice tip. For clients with irrevocable trust, make sure that their power of attorney does not conflict with the terms of that document. Revocable trusts usually have powers of attorney within them. And here's another practice tip. The Health Information Portability and Accountability Act, which we call HIPAA, ensures patient privacy. That's all well and good. But it also deprives family members of speedy access to health records. A HIPAA release solves the problem. Contact clients on these issues. Have them come in and work with their attorneys to take a look at these documents, making sure that they exist and that they don't conflict. A longevity trust is not a single document. It's really a group of clauses placed in any grantor trust to instruct the trustee to expend money for our care, without liability to remainder beneficiaries who might question those expenditures. These clauses may include directives to expend money to age in place, redesign our home, hire a health care aide, or a geriatric care manager. Special needs trusts are another longevity document that allows trustees to pay for extras such as hairdressing, private rooms if we go into a facility. It's intended to supplement, not supplant government benefits. So even though money is spent for us, we still get our aid if we're otherwise eligible. Healthcare directives give us freedom of choice in chronic care and end-of-life planning. The healthcare proxy and the similar healthcare power of attorney or medical power of attorney designate a surrogate to make decisions for us. The living will, on the other hand, sets forth specific wishes with regard to treatment in place, hospice if terminal, and end-of-life planning. We can opt for aggressive treatment or terminating liquids and nourishment. There are more documents. CPR, DNR, do not resuscitate orders, donor cards, and hospice directives are contained in these or in separate documents. An important service you can offer clients is to help them enter their wishes on a database that can be accessed from any hospital anywhere in the world. Use companies like DocuBank or Life Ledger to do so. You'll notice that each document we've discussed is created by the client, but they all name others who are essential to carrying out their orders. Now, you can be the centerpiece for interfamily communication. You can call a family meeting. You can help your client make their presentation using the 5 steps that you see on the board. This will expand your practice to the adult child. Help them rehearse. Make sure they understand their motivation so they can explain it. Start with their conclusions. What do they want to happen when they have the family meeting? Do they see conflict? If so, help them appreciate everyone's side so they go into a meeting with a wonderful attitude. You be the problem solver, not the problem. As we mentioned, all of these documents shift autonomy. Inevitably, there could be conflicting goals. The colors on the board that you see show conflict in goals and attitude as the management of money is shifted from the principal to the fiduciary. The concerns of the family fiduciary are for the parent, of course, but also for their own inheritance and their obligations to non-family members, their siblings, and their own children. In most cases, financial solutions that are tax-favored, predictable, and solve the cost of care problem will be the quickest and least conflicted. 44.4 million Americans are taking care of adults in one way or another. Half of 60-year-olds today have living parents. Caregivers become the financial decision makers, or at least the financial point persons. They suffer physically, psychologically, emotionally, and financially. And you can help them. You can help them by understanding the 5 stages of care and concern. You can help them deal with financial drain upon themselves and the rest of the family. You can help them understand their role as a fiduciary advisor to the family. And most important, you can help them communicate with their loved ones and other members that are not caregivers. Who are these 44.4 million people? Well, the average age of caregivers is 46. The average length of caregiving is 5 years. 75% of Alzheimer's caregivers are women, with a child or grandchild still living with them. 30% of caregivers live with a care receiver. Of the 34 million caregivers with Alzheimer's loved ones, 15% live at least 1 hour away and spend 13.6 hours a month arranging care and 16 hours a month providing care. Alzheimer's caregivers have twice the likelihood of providing care 40 hours a week than other caregivers. Caregivers have major health and financial concerns. 46% of full-time caregivers are clinically depressed. 17% take antidepressants. 19% are on anti-anxiety drugs. Financial concerns. As of 2004, 80.8% of boomers have yet to inherit any money. Why? Because of longevity. 14.9% expect to inherit, and the average inheritance will be only $49,000. Most money being spent on long-term care. $36 billion is lost through Alzheimer's caregivers' absenteeism from work, and 23 days a year of work is the average time lost by caregiving employees. Most carers do not identify themselves as caregivers because their duties evolve in stages. This evolution involves at least 5 stages of decline, and you can help at every stage. Here they are. Minor changes in your loved one's habits, cleanliness, forgetfulness, bill-paying habits. Physical decline in activities of daily living, mobility, bathing, mental acumen. Inability to administer their lifestyle. Cannot attend to pets and other responsibilities. They can now only marginally participate in financial decisions. Legal dependency. Finally, they transfer decisions through the legal documents that we've discussed before. And eventually there may be complete physical dependency, requiring full-time caregiving, even quitting a job. As a family fiduciary advisor, you can help at every stage. Stage 1, you can offer day-to-day administrative services like bill paying. Stage 2, you can offer at-home meetings and family conferences with a discussion of confidentiality to facilitate help in these changing times. Stage 3, you can be the coordinator of not only legal and tax professionals, but also private pay healthcare professionals. You become the hub of a wheel. Stage 4, you can offer education as to how family members can meet financial challenges of long-term care. And Stage 5, you can offer total money management and trustee services. Several new types of agreements help the adult child manage parental money and meet their responsibilities. Your expertise in knowing about them and managing the money in segregated accounts provides family harmony. Under family agreements, a separate account, sometimes in the name of the fiduciary, sometimes in the name of the senior, sometimes with multiple fiduciaries, is created for paying bills and expenses. Often a family bank clause allows the fiduciary to lend money to other family members at low or no interest. A family home agreement can place a second or vacation home in a trust to be used by generations to come, funded by the proceeds of an insurance policy. Caregivers agreements provide for payment to an adult child to take care of the parent. The payment, if reasonable and for actual services rendered, is not considered transfers for Medicaid qualifying purposes, but they are taxable as income to the caregiver. Lifetime care agreements are made with professionals. They can be funded with an insurance policy or another upfront lump sum. You can take leadership in this wonderful field of financial longevity. Examine your current alliances and your spheres of influence. We call them the roots from which your practice bears fruits. We have a handout listing professional designations with whose members you can strategically ally to co-market, to co-educate, and to build your mutual brand. Here are just a few professionals with whom you can ally: bank trustees, elder law attorneys, senior real estate agents, and of course, even veterinarians. Here are other potential alliances specifically leading to interfacing with the adult child or the financial fiduciary: the geriatric care manager, assisted living and nursing home managers, senior movers and organizers, hospital social workers, and discharge officers. Last but not least, here are still others in the nonprofit arena. Hospital and Hospice Ethics Committee members, Alzheimer's Foundation, and other foundations that deal with specific diseases, local religious organizations, senior centers. We've taken some time to see the whole picture of this megatrend of longevity, its trends and its challenges. At its centerpiece is lifelong independence. Money, the right documents, the right advisors make the difference. And in the midst of all this is the family fiduciary advisor. Sometimes we call them the 50-year-old child. All of a sudden the caregiver of their own parent. In every single case, you can make the difference in how longevity will play out. Very, very good or horrid. Thank you for your attention.